All right, so Gina and I decided instead of telling everybody the story of our vacation, we would just record it and everybody could watch it all at once and I could put all the pictures and the videos on there. So we're going to try this out. Tell us how you like it. If it was kind of awkward, then, well...
Don't bother.
Don't bother. All right, so this is our trip to Australia that we went to. We went and saw Jill, your sister. Mm-hmm. So day 0, we actually had an amazing flight.
Yep, we went on a 14-and-a-half-hour flight aboard American Airlines. We flew from here to LA and then LA to Sydney.
But what made it amazing was out of a plane that sits 500, there were probably 40 people on it. So
yes.
We got to lay down and sleep like a normal person would for 10 hours of the flight. It was really nice. I enjoyed the flight there more than the flight coming back. But day 1, we were in Sydney.
We got there actually at 6 in the morning, so we had to get good sleep in order to
function as normal humans do.
Yeah, out of day 1. We didn't want to waste that day.
Well, the trains were interesting. We had ridden the trains in Japan, and these were a little hard to figure out at times. The train stations themselves, at least the one we went to in Sydney, was kind of complicated. You want to go over here, but that's upstairs, but it's not really upstairs. That was kind of a pain in the butt. After that, we went to our hotel, which, as douchebag hotels go, I actually really, really like this place. It was very upscale, pointing your pinky up and drinking tea while you're there, but I really, really liked it. The mini bar was free, even though we don't drink, but I got a Coke a day for free for 2 days, so that was kind of nice. Their breakfast in the morning was very French. You don't think it was French, but they had prosciutto and meat and pastries.
Well, actually, we stay at this hotel called Ovolo 1888. It's by the Darling Harbor. It was nice, very clean. They had free breakfast every day. They had cold cuts, so it was definitely European. Different pastries, yogurt, fresh juice.
It was really good. I was really impressed.
And coffee, so that's where our coffee adventures started in Australia.
On the first day, we went and saw the Three Sisters. Mm-hmm. Was it Three Sisters Mountains, or was it, what's the full title?
It was in Katoomba. The most popular one is the Three Sisters. We went to the Echo Point lookout to appreciate the best view. Basically, it's like a rocky formation, and there's eucalyptus trees everywhere. And this place was called Blue Mountains because the eucalyptus trees had this haze that emitted some sort of blue tinge against the light. So that's what's called Blue Mountains.
It had a blue tinge. It wasn't really impactful, but if you looked at it hard enough, you can see it. It's very interesting that, blue is not a color in nature outside of blueberries, which are more purple. Basically it for the first day, because there was a 2-hour train ride to Katoomba. So that's 4 hours by train. It only cost us $8 one way. That's pretty amazing by train.
Yeah, so you take the regional train from the central station. It takes 2 hours exactly. And you get there from the stop. You can take a bus going to the lookout, and there's hop on and hop off buses, but we didn't do that. Actually hiked all the way down to the Three Sisters, and then
probably about an hour walk.
And then took a bus going back, just headed back to the city. We slept the whole way back.
Actually, something else that happened that I forgot. The random train checks.
4 on the 2 days that we were
Yeah,
there.
out of the 2 days we were there, we had 4 random checks. So I don't know how random it is. The guy in front of us didn't pay, and the guy behind us didn't pay. And then I'm sitting there like, do you want to check my card? And he's like, no, we got our quota. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
so certain things about Australia, at least in Sydney and Melbourne, you have to be quiet in the train.
Yeah, there are quiet cars in the first and the last cabin, and we got roughly told to, by some old man, to please keep it down.
And you cannot put your feet up on the chairs. You're allowed to eat. Anyway,
so,
day 2?
Day 2 in Sydney, we went to the flea market. So we initially went out to go to the Opera House. We took a bunch of pictures. Very interesting. As an opera house, I've only ever seen this one opera house, so it was amazing, but is it special? I have no idea.
Well, it just looks nice. I took close-up pictures of it, and it's made of like mosaic tiles, and it was,
it's like clam shape.
shell shaped. So it was beautiful, especially at night. The way they had the bridge and the opera house and the harbor, it was just beautiful.
Directly after the opera house, we went to Hyde Park.
Hyde Park was the massive trees. So
we went to the botanical gardens after that.
We went to the botanical gardens, and it was a nice walk. And we headed towards the flea market to grab ourselves some stuff.
So we went to the flea market. We got okonomiyaki, which I was a little disappointed in. I wasn't too hungry, but it's okonomiyaki. What are you gonna do? You gotta try it. After that, we just went. Jean bought a couple things. From there, we went to the bridge. We saw people crossing over the top.
Yeah, we went up the bridge, but didn't go on top. The experience.
It's like,
the bridge experience,
is it $300
which was
a
like
person?
$300.
I wanted to do it, but that's a little insane.
It is pretty hefty. It's a nice view to see the opera house from the bridge. After that, we got lost.
Well, we just kind of walked around until we figured out where we were. We did end up heading to St. Mary's Cathedral.
Yes.
Very nice. I'm glad I brought my GoPro. A lot of really good angles that I could get with that. They were having a service at the moment, so I didn't go in. Jean kind of stepped in to look around. But
yeah, it was massive. The architecture was beautiful. Right across from it is Hyde Park. You can see the just amazing trees and people just having fun. There was a guy making huge bubbles.
There was a 12-year-old girl or whatever playing the flute. No, it was a flute.
And
a life-size chess set. John, rematch. Other than that, we went back to the hotel room and relaxed for our night dinner cruise. And I was really looking forward to this, and I have to say, I was not impressed. I was a little let down.
Yeah.
It was buffet style, which I knew was going to be not so good. Buffets
We're from Vegas, so he already has a preconceived notion that buffets are. Well, I looked at the menu beforehand, and it was promising. I mean, they had the barramundi fish. They had shrimp. The menu just sounded spectacular. You go on a night cruise to the harbor to see the opera house at night and the bridge at night and all that. It was a good experience.
I would say that if they were to do a better food, I don't know, like if you were to offer like steak or like something where you want to sit there and eat, because when you have buffet food, you're like, okay, what else is there? And because it was small, it was like 5 dishes and that was it. I was not satisfied. But
so, moving on.
So the next day we flew to Melbourne, which was an hour flight. That was nothing special. There we met Jill. So we got to see Jill's car. She calls it Mr. Fiesta. It's a silver Ford Fiesta. I liked it. It had a lot of weird quirks, like the front seats had power windows and I had rear rolling windows. But other than that, the car was good. I think she had a really good purchase. I think she did really good with that. I'm rather impressed.
They drive on the left side of the road.
Which you think would be a total mirror of driving on the right, but there are some weird quirks.
It's not. They have a lot of weird things. They have this thing called a hook where you wait and then you turn. It seems like the opposite traffic is going to hit you, but they don't. And they have the yield is weird, right? Because
they don't have a lot of stoplights, at least where we were. They're all roundabouts.
Tons of roundabouts. I'm actually calling Australia the land of roundabouts. Right after she picked us up, he went downtown to get some wontons. Downtown.
Very few parking. Walk everywhere, pay everywhere. So we went to this Chinese restaurant that was supposed to be really good for their wontons, and we got crammed in this little table, and so it was adequate. It was good. I liked it.
Yes, we saw the world famous Flinders Station.
I don't know what's world famous about it.
It's big, and there's a lot of traffic. Australians are nice.
Very.
In general, I think. Very polite.
I don't think we ran into a rude person.
Yeah, very nice. And then we went to Hosier Lane.
The alleyway that's full of graffiti that you're allowed to graffiti on. It was actually really interesting.
Yeah, it apparently changes all the time.
Because people graffiti over it.
Yeah, the most recent one I checked, somebody made a proposal saying, will you marry me? And it was all.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. After that, we went just all over that area. We went to the Emporium and tried this delicious dessert from this place called Milk Cow.
Yes, very interesting. I had cookies and cream cotton candy.
Yeah, it was cotton candy over ice cream.
Yes, that's what I had. You had
mine.
The coffee.
I had like an affogato where It was ice cream, and you poured espresso in it, and then it was cotton candy. It was delicious.
It was really good. I enjoyed it. We spent most of the day just downtown doing whatever. I think that was about it.
Next day, we were up for an early road trip.
Yes, we went to the Great Ocean Road. This is a stretch of road that goes around the outskirts of Melbourne.
No, it was a coastal drive.
Oh, it's around the coast of the island.
Yeah.
It goes in and out, like not always will you be by the ocean, but for most times you were. There was actually a part, I don't know how you guys knew about it, there are wild birds and some of them are parrots.
Yeah. So actually, we were trying to get to 12 Apostles. There are some stops that you should take, which is well worth it. One of it was in Kennett River. There are 3 beautiful birds and koalas even up on the tree, and you feed them, and it's a nice stop. Nathan really had fun feeding them Pringles. Me and my sister were
screaming and running away,
taking some pictures.
The interesting thing is, because they're wild, they have their talons, so when they land on your arm, you feel them holding on to you. It didn't break the skin or anything, but it was still like, and they land on your head, and the one jumped off my head to get onto my arm to fight the other bird off.
Yeah, they fight.
And it's like, you just scratched my head, but it was a lot of fun. We didn't stay too long because
it was a stop.
It was a stop.
Just a stop, yeah. And then after that, we went and got some fresh grilled fish.
Seafood lunch, yeah. I had salmon. You had
barramundi and butterfish. It was very, very delicious. After that, we just headed over to 12 Apostles. We passed by the Great Otway National Park. Beautiful trees, literally lined it all over left and right. And then we got to 12 Apostles after like a 5-6 hour drive.
At the 12 Apostles, you got to see all the little rocks that make up the 12 Apostles, and when the tide is out, some get uncovered. Unfortunately, it looks like someone had a heart attack when we were on our way out, and we're pretty sure he didn't make it. It looked like it was a Chinese tourist. But 12 Apostles itself was really nice.
It's just beautiful. The pictures don't even do it justice. Approximately 2 minutes from there, head over to this gorge called Loch Arc Gorge. It has some sort of history.
A ship sunk there.
Yeah.
And so you go down and you're on the beach in this gorge. You can actually swim in there, but people have died, so they tell you it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we ran with the Asian migration. There were Chinese tourists everywhere we went. I'm not even joking when I say there were probably hundreds of them.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Tour bus after tour bus after tour bus. And so it wasn't very quiet. There were just people everywhere.
Yeah. We didn't spend a lot of time there because it rained. And we had to rush back because we were driving. We had to drive to the Bellarine, which was another 2-3 hours.
It's where we rented a cabin.
Yeah, we rented this place. It's like a park, because you could actually take your RV there. Had pizza delivered to us, which was very interesting. Hawaiian pizza.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
And
then we left it there out of mistake. So hopefully the person that rents it after us doesn't mind the smell of rotting pizza in the oven.
From the Bellarine, we woke up early, had breakfast
at McDonald's, which they called Makas. No, we didn't have it at McDonald's.
No, we went to this cafe.
Oh, that's right.
We went to this cafe. Very fancy, about $18 or $20 Australian dollars per dish.
It was good. I liked it. I really enjoyed mine.
Yeah, it was delicious. In Australia, the food is good, expensive, but healthy.
From there, we drove the car to the ferry, where Jill gained her next nickname of Double L. So basically, you drive your car onto the ferry, and you wait for it to get to the other side, and you drive off. And from there, we were on Phillip Island.
It takes about 30 to 40 minutes to get to the town called Sorrento. From Sorrento, we went to the Koala Park.
Yes, so at the Koala Park, I don't know why they call it the Koala Park when I think the kangaroos are a larger attraction. From there, you can take pictures with a dingo. You can feed a koala. They had a snake. You can feed kangaroos.
Which was the highlight of...
Yeah, it was like $5 for kangaroo feed.
No, $2.
$2 for kangaroo feed. There were emus there.
Emus were, oh my
scary.
Gosh.
They were kind of scary. They would like sit behind the wood fence and then poke their heads up. It really was like
and they had evil eyes. But it was cool to see them. They're endemic to Australia, so they're the biggest bird in Australia.
According to them.
Yeah, it's on their coat of arms, along with the kangaroo. There was a dingo, a monitor
Tasmanian
lizard,
devil, which was asleep.
A wallaby.
So we, meaning Jill and I, fed the kangaroos. Jean was too scared to mostly even come inside.
I took some nice pictures.
She was a very good picture taker. One of the kangaroos had a joey in the pouch.
Yeah.
That was really amazing.
Well, and I didn't know this, but I saw Jill took a picture of the kangaroo eating from the floor, and the joey was peeking out of the pouch to eat from the floor too. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool.
Yeah, they're not attached. They just live in there until they get old enough. Which is odd, talking about the kangaroos. The small ones and the large ones, like adult males, they're very timid. Like, they're eating out of your hand, and there's these things that they can break your femur if they kick you. But you looked up stats, and I think 4 people have died to kangaroo attacks.
Yeah,
but
it's actually
they could be very.
There's different types of kangaroos. The biggest one is called the red kangaroo, which are bigger than humans. But the ones that were there were very nice.
They had a snake that came out, a small constrictor, and they had a little lesson on it, and Jean actually touched it. Very proud of her. But after that, we left to go to the penguin parade.
Oh my gosh, and peacocks running wild. That thing, anyway, it was a very good park. I feel if you have kids, they're gonna love that place. After that, we drove to Phillip Island. The long distance drive in Australia is just glorious. It's just green after green after green. You just see cows everywhere. Horses
sheep.
wearing coats. Phillip Island was half an hour away from that koala park. We decided to wait for the penguin parade.
We ate at the Penguin Habitat sister location where you could do the Arctic program, where you can go inside and this is what it feels like in Antarctica. So it's got the correct temperature, wind, they give you all these stats, how whales dive and all that.
Yeah, the Phillip Island is very, very south. According to the picture from that place, it's the Phillip Island, then this island called Macquarie Island, one more, and then it's the Antarctica. So it was very, very south.
With the exception of New Zealand, you can't get much more south.
So if you were on that southmost tip from Phillip Island, you can see nothing. It's cold, it's so beautiful.
From there, we went to the penguin parade, which I'm glad we did, but at the same time, I was extremely disappointed in, I want to say, the execution of the park. You can't take pictures. Okay, you can't take video. You can't take pictures without flash. But it's not like they sell pictures, so I don't know why. I understand with the flash.
The only thing is you can download it from their website.
Well, that's great, but why can I not take a picture without flash?
Right.
Or video that doesn't have flash.
A type of species of penguin called little penguins are endemic to New Zealand and Australia.
They're the smallest penguin. They're about yay high.
2 to 3 inches big. They are protected on Phillip Island. After sundown, you see these penguins come out of the water and they march to their burrows. So that's why it's called penguin parade.
Although I think parade is the way wrong term, because they come out from shore and go to their nest. But where you sit, they don't pass by you at all. They're over there and you can barely see them. Now there's a better chance when you walk back, they're actually walking along the path.
So how they actually did this was there's the beach, then there's bleachers, and you wait for the sun to come down. When the sun comes down, the penguins in batches come out of the water. They slowly make their way to their burrows. They march alongside the bleachers. From the bleachers, there are walkways or pavements, and you can walk up there to see them.
But you still can't take pictures.
It was kind of hard to see them.
Yeah, I mean, it was expensive. It wasn't $10. It was $50 a person or something ridiculous.
No, it's $27 per person for an adult ticket.
But you didn't get to see anything. It's a good idea, but I would like to see them implement cameras with video feed. Here's a nest, or here's them coming up on the beach.
I'm pretty sure they had it. We weren't there for a long time because we spent most of our time just driving to there. When you head back to your car, you have to check
Underneath your car
to make sure that
You don't run over
penguins
penguin.
didn't make their way underneath your car and you hit them.
Hit
So
them.
anyway, 2 hours from Phillip Island, we drove to Melbourne. That was the end of it.
It was the end of the workday. So the next day, which is day 6, Jill actually had to go back to work, unfortunately. So that left the 2 of us to our own devices. So we went to Chapel Street.
So that day we took the train to downtown. The good thing about the Melbourne transit system, get a Mikey card if you decide to go. There are free tram zones within downtown, so you can actually take the free tram and go to popular sites. We went to the Royal Botanic Garden, which was acres and acres of just different plantations.
Massively huge
Massive trees, there's a lake. Then anyway, we headed over to the Shrine of Remembrance. It's a nice building. They commemorate past soldiers involved in the war, freeing Australia.
From World War II, it had a whole history.
Yeah, so it's a nice place to visit. And then after that, we took the train to Chapel Street. I was expecting to do shopping. The only thing on Chapel Street was there's a lot of opportunity stores. They call it, or op stores, which are thrift stores and pawn shops. It's very interesting. If you're a foodie, you definitely will enjoy Chapel Street.
And unfortunately, this was the day that I got sick. I came down with a bug. I don't know where I got it from. The walking felt a lot harder for me on this day. We went to what was the potato?
It's a spud bar.
It was a spud bar. So basically it was like a baked potato or sweet potato, and they put a bunch of stuff on it. And I thought it was okay. Jean didn't seem to like it too much.
I just went there for the free Wi-Fi.
For lunch that day, we had sushi, which I thought was pretty good.
It's from Sushi Hub. So how the sushi place works is you pick and choose what you want. They had hand rolls, they had nigiri sushi, and it was a good place, and it was fairly cheap.
It wasn't more expensive than America. Unfortunately, after we ordered, we saw the conveyor belt sushi, so we were both like, dang it.
Same place, just in the back.
Yeah, we messed that part up. But the food, sushi was good. We were in Hawaii and we went to some sushi restaurants and went, I'm not eating here. And you're in Hawaii. So that was about it for that day. 7th day, we went to the Queen Victoria Market and we had America's famous donuts or something like that.
Yeah, there's this donut truck from Queen Victoria Market that's popular. $5.50 for 5 donuts.
But they're made right there. So
Yeah,
if
they're
you
made
think-
right there, and they have a little jam.
It's like a raspberry filling, and
Inside.
they're like donut holes
Yeah.
more than like circular donuts that you would normally get at Krispy Kreme. And they're literally made like 10 seconds, so if you think Krispy Kreme is fresh, these were really, really good. So after that, we walked around, we looked at all the flea market stuff, because it's basically a flea market, although it's called the Queen Victoria Market.
A Queen Victoria Market actually has several produce section, meat and cheese section, which is extensive and elaborate. And then there's the dry retail section where you can find anything from souvenirs to
Shirts,
Uggs, shirts, anything. The food court has free Wi-Fi, so if you're ever lost and wanting to look for train routes, it's the best place to go. The food court is amazing.
There were a lot of artists on the street corners in Australia, I noticed. Like, you turn almost any corner and there's like some band playing on the corner. It happened quite a lot.
And they're good. They're not,
Yeah, it
they're not
happened
embarrassing.
more than you would think. Like in Vegas, you go downtown or you go to the strip, but you would literally like walk down the corner and there's just some dude playing on the corner. It's very interesting, especially in train stations. I noticed that happened a lot. I don't know if that's because they're poor or if because they're bored, but that happened quite a lot. From there, we went to pick up Jill from her work, and I got a piccolo latte, which was my favorite because it was tiny and ultra snubby, and I loved it. Starbucks doesn't exist much over there.
It
Starbucks
does,
is a
but
joke.
It's very rare. I've only probably seen 1 or 2.
I've seen, I think, 2, and those were usually in like large areas.
Yeah, so it was straight up coffee, no fake syrups, it was just coffee. In Melbourne, people are very serious about their coffee.
Yes.
It's espresso with cream, and that's it. So it's probably like this big. I want to say about 4 ounces in there. But it was good. It was good. It was delicious. So give that a try.
And then Jill said, "Oh, that's bad coffee." Apparently, we like that coffee.
Well, it was a coffee at her hospital called Hudson Cafe, and she's like, yeah, they don't make very good coffee. After that, we went
to the outlet mall.
Yeah, we went shopping, DFO, Direct Factory Outlet. We went shopping and had dinner at Chinatown.
We went to just some random Chinese restaurant that we went to.
They had their crispy pork, duck, and then, we ordered some soup. It was delicious. We ended the night by walking around
Central
Station.
There's apparently inside the mall used to be power or something. I missed it. I didn't understand what Jill was saying. And they built the mall around it, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so it was actually a train station at the bottom and then a mall at the top. And there's like a grocery store underneath it. So
It was basically a one-stop place. It was really nice. So then day 8, Jill still was at work, so Jean and I went to the major H&M store. I followed her around while she tried on a bunch of different stuff.
H&M was downtown. It was actually an old post office. It's huge. It's 3 floors. It was beautiful.
So after that, we took a train to Brighton Beach, where they have their bath houses. Now, any of you that know me, what you're thinking of is not what it is. Basically, it's a beachfront property where you can rent to change. They make them all different colors, and they do this, and apparently it's a huge attraction. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's something a lot of people... They're sheds that are painted different colors. Personally, I say skip the beach houses, but I'm sure Jean has a different opinion.
I enjoyed the beach houses. It's a cute attraction, and actually, when you go to Brighton Beach, it gives you a really good view of the Melbourne skyscraper. I like it because I like beaches, and it was just a relaxing day.
Well, for lunch, we had a restaurant called... For dinner, we went to a restaurant called Lunch Pepper. It was very interesting. It was like a hot plate, and you would have rice in it, and then whatever side you wanted. So I got salmon, and you got prawns. I liked it. It's called Lunch Pepper, so it was very, very peppery. I think it was a little too peppery, and I know that sounds a little redundant because it's called Lunch Pepper, but I think back off just a smidge, and that would have been a little better. Jean thought it was way too peppery in general. The next day, we went to the chocolate factory. We saw Willy Wonka. He showed us around.
We went to Yarra Valley. We visited the Yarra Valley Chocolatery and Ice Cream Factory. You go there and you get to try different chocolate and purchase them. It's a beautiful place. You can actually just go for the view. It's a nice drive. Yarra Valley is popular for their wineries. So you can see grapevines left and right.
We actually went to a winery for lunch where they had croquet, a type of horseshoe.
Yeah, it was this place called Yarwood Estates, and it's actually a winery. However, they have a restaurant, they have venues where you can have special events, and the restaurant had like European royalty games, I think.
They were just like old-timey English games. I had duck.
Jill had arancini, and I had their prawn salad.
I thought the duck was amazing.
After that, we drove to
seeing Puffing Billy, the steam train.
We didn't get to go on the train. We got to see the train as it went back to the station, which was really cool. Yeah, the driver was shoving coals. I felt like I was in Harry Potter.
After that, we went to St. Kilda Beach. I'm not a beach person, so I was there for the entertainment of watching them talk.
We were lucky we got to see the sunset from there. It was just
very good sunset.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. Luna Park was by there. We decided not to go instead.
It was late. By the time we had gotten over there, it was like a half an hour left. It was dark already, so we just decided to go have our steak dinner. All of us wanted to go have steak dinner. Jill knew a place, and we changed that, and changed the next one, and changed the next one, until we finally found one that didn't have a full reservation. Jean got a steak, Jill got a steak, and I got to try kangaroo. So I started here, and I'm ending here. I have to say, the kangaroo, they weren't steaks, they were fillets. They were really good. They were kind of sweet. And I don't know if that's the way they were prepared or if that's just how their meat is. It was really good. If you have a chance and you're not weirded out by weird meats, definitely have kangaroo. It's well worth it.
It was good steak. I was feeling under the weather. I enjoyed it, but immediately wanted to go home.
It was about this time that my cold started clearing up and Jean started coming in, so I think I gave my sickness to her.
For the next day, we got up and Jill and I were both feeling under the weather. We decided to go to her neighbor's house where she had an orange tree and we got fresh oranges. So that's it. That day we had breakfast at Muletas, which is downtown by Queen Victoria Market.
But this was probably the only time I ran across someone mean, and I'm still mad at this lady. It was very busy, but she was like, "Where are you sitting?" I really thought that was rude. We ended up finding this place, but overall the food there was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did some last minute shopping. Just came home early and started packing up, and the next day we would depart for Los Angeles.
I bought for myself, I bought like a little travel bag. It's a little man purse. They call me the mailman. I bought a new wallet, and I think that was it. So on the last day, we woke up at 6.
Yeah, woke up early. We had an early flight, and Joe drove us to the airport. And we just had a rough flight going back home. So just happy to be back.
Yeah, the plane flight home, unfortunately, we were on a full plane, and we weren't even sitting next to each other. We were both in aisle seats, one in front, one in behind. So at least we had that. We could turn around and talk to each other as if we were like both on the window, which would be harder. But I didn't sleep at all. I got home, Mom and Dad picked us up from the airport, and I drove home and went to bed after I took a shower. And then Jean followed later. And then I woke up in the middle of the night. So overall, what was your view of Australia?
I liked it. Very expensive city, but I enjoyed traveling there. I would like to come back and see more of Australia, visit the western side, do more things. But it'll be a while from now. I have to recover from that long flight. So.
Yeah, it's 14 hours.
It's pretty long.
Personally, I was not as impressed with Australia. The price for stuff was just way too outrageous. A 22 ounce of Coke was $4. Even in Australian dollars, in American, that's $3. For those of you who care, Doom, the new PS4, Xbox One, whatever game, $100. It's a stable market in America. It's $60 no matter where you go. If you're in America, it's $60. So what makes the Doom version in Australia worth $33 more? I don't know, but it's not worth it. I actually went there hoping to find some PAL region games, and unfortunately, to my understanding, Australia didn't really get video games until like PlayStation 2 era, and those are just hard to come by. So I drew a big bust in terms of finding old games. So that was my kind of... I did find a couple of places. There was a place called the Minotaur, which was like, you know, comic books and CDs and stuff, but all of that stuff was like really expensive, and you know, it's like, you know what, I can just buy it online at home for better, same quality. So the price killed it for me, but as a country, everybody's really nice. It's really beautiful. If you're going there for a view, it's a great country to visit, I think. Let us know if you like this idea of telling about vacations for future. Next time we go out, if this goes out really well, people like the idea of getting a video, we'll do it some more. If not, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day.